Previously, we were able to repair some of the rusted spots from the chassis and clean up the axle to prepare for the installation of the forelink. We were also able to tack on the lower brackets and arms. Now it's time to get the suspension finished up. Day 6. Mounting the upper links and coilovers. A suspension test run. In preparation to mounting the upper brackets, we're going to grind a little bit off of the tabs that are on the axle, and that's what Prim John is doing here. A quick check before we lock this in. So right now we're just making sure everything is perfectly lined up, talking level, squared, all that good stuff. You really don't want to rush this part, since this is where accuracy matters the most. We're double checking measurements, making sure everything is spot on before we go ahead and tack it into place. Taking the extra minute here saves you a whole lot of headaches later. So let's get it right the first time. And now we're ready to tack weld this in place. And we're not going to full weld it just yet until we can actually test the suspension. And here we're just verifying the angle just to make sure that both of them are exactly the same angles. Here you can see the OSHA certified steel-toed Zorries. Just doing another check here to make sure everything is evened and aligned. Now that we got it tacked in place, we're going to go ahead and lift up the axle to make sure that the pinion angle stays exactly the same. From here, everything looked solid. None of the tack welds broke off. There was no binding. So now we can go ahead and just tighten it up here. Pretty solid. Now it's time to move over to the coilover and the shock. So right now we're putting on a QA1 adjustable shock and coilover with a 10-inch coilover spring rated about 200 pounds. Here we're going to go ahead and measure the angle of the coilover, and we decided to go about 15 degrees for the angle. And here we're setting it at 15 degrees while adjusting the axle up and down just to make sure that it's not going to hit at that 15-degree angle. It's time to measure and cut out the angle iron so we can go ahead and make the cross member for the shock mounts. While we're doing that, Pari Ray and Pari J are out here creating the shock mount brackets. And for the cross member that the shock brackets will be going onto. They were just 2 angle irons that are butted up together to make a tube shape, and we're gonna go ahead and weld those on. And if anyone is looking for a certified welder, here he is. Another look at how the brackets are being made for the shock mounts. Manual labor for sure. Prim John doing his welding inspection here. This is the view from the back of the rear axle, how everything's coming together. Looking solid. Now we'll go ahead and level and align that cross member that the shock mount will be mounted onto. And once that's tacked on, we'll go ahead and bring our shock over, put it at a 15-degree angle, and mark where it's going to be mounted on that cross member. Here's how everything turned out and how the end result looks. I'm really happy how the coilovers and the four-link turned out. Look super aggressive. Everything is tacked on with no binding. The pinion angle stays the same when the axle is moving up and down. I also want to thank my parties and Prim for coming out and supporting in this build. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you all next time. And remember, not only is it good, it's good enough.